Good morning, Striper fans, and thanks for coming along. My name is Paul K, and this is Striperquest, Saturday mornings outdoors, and we are on the canal looking for our beloved striper. And we're going to have the fishing report today, and as promised, I believe every few episodes we're going to have a different spot on the canal. I'm going to give all the variables about the spots, so stay tuned. And this is geared on helping the beginners and maybe not so beginners know the canal and know where to fish in the holes. It's 7 miles long. It probably can be intimidating, you know, the people and the length of it and all that, but I'm going to explain all of it to you. I hope you all watch the introductory video, and as you go along, I'm going to be giving information. As you follow along, you got to follow along, and you'll get a lot from this. So stay tuned. Upcoming is the Striper report, and hopefully we can have some good luck. Thanks for coming. All right, so I'm going to start with the report this morning. It's pretty humid out. The whole week's been in the 90s, our first heat wave of the year, and the Celtics just won the championship. Celtics! We're going to have the parade today. But the temperatures going to be in the 90s today, and they claim this is kind of good for fishing, but they claim strong thunderstorms moving in tonight. So we're going to be on the front of a front, and also we have the full moon. Wind is out of the southwest right now at 12 miles an hour, and we are in the east tide. I believe it's going to be changing around 10 a.m. rather this morning. And it's the big fat full moon of June today. This is on this day, which means the tides are going to be running extra strong, and which means theoretically better striper fishing. The heavy tides disorientate the bait. The stripers know this, and they attack a vu. But those are the reports, or that is the report. Let's see what we can do. I ran into an old friend. I'd like to just give a quick shout out. You saw him on a few episodes of the salt that was lobstering, Bobby, my friend Bobby, and he was here this morning, and we were discussing the fishing in the canal. And Bobby, and he's going at it. He's got a new e-bike, which is the rage on the canal now. I don't understand it, but those guys love it. But they're all on these motorized bicycles cruising up and down instead of fishing. But they like that, and that's their thing. But Bobby, how you doing, buddy? And hope you're into fish by now. Alright, so there's a school of bait fish right in here, breaking fish on top. Yep, see that? I hope you saw that. Right here. Right there. Sounds like someone threw a brick in the water when they're feeding on top like that. Bait is here. I see the cormorants duck diving, and I see the fish hawks. And my friend Bobby was telling me that he saw a fish hawk with big fish. So whatever kind of bait is in here, I don't know, but maybe mackerel, maybe, I don't know. They are here. That tide is cranking. It is cranking. It's a full moon tide, and at this stage, right about here, you can see rips starting to build, and it's really rolling along. Being hot and humid, but it's a very comfortable breeze coming from the southwest, which is this direction. And working this east tide, like I always say, this is one of my favorites, and obviously in the spring, when the tide turns east, it's going to be low tide in the canal. So the tide's going to be coming up. The tide flows from Buzzards Bay to Cape Cod Bay. When the tide turns west, it's going to be coming from Cape Cod Bay that way, and it's going to be high tide going down. So right now, basically, the tide is coming in, and it's the east tide. In east, out west. In east, out west. And in lieu of the upcoming sections in these videos of some of the spots that I'm going to give you, they're all on maps, and it's very important to know about canal maps. So we're going to run back to the rat cave and have a little talk about maps, canal maps, and how important they are to understanding where these spots are. So without further ado, to the rat cave. Meanwhile, back at the rat cave, we're going to look at some maps, and I'm going to make some sense out of what you're seeing on this episode. And Miss Denise says hi, and don't even think about it, she's mine. So this is the map from the visitor center that I had showed you, and mine is laminated. I laminated it. That's how important these are. There's about 3 or 4 maps. Some are more detailed, some are less detailed. This one's about in the middle. You can get all the information that you want from here. So overall, this is the Cape Cod side. That's the mainland side. All right. This is Buzzards Bay, the west end, and this is Cape Cod Bay, the east end. So, and then there's the canal. And here are the pole numbers. It's 5 slots between each pole. The numbers start on the east end, right? They start at 10, I guess. I guess there is a 0 pole, and they go up. They ascend, heading west, and that's how the numbers go. And they're by 5, so it'll go 190, 195, 200, 295, 210. And in between those poles are single unnumbered poles. So each pole is 150 feet between, and so it would be 180, 181, 182, 183, 184. Then you'll see another number, 185, and then it continues like that. Not every pole is numbered. Every 5th pole is numbered, and that way the whole thing is wired basically. So see all the named places here: Patty Gribbins, Grossman's, Split Rock, the Rips, the Jungle. Those are the holes. So you look closely on the map, you can see the coinciding numbers. Split Rock is around 209, 210, right? Very, very popular hole. So, and for instance, today's around 285, 283, 285, that's Sandbank, all right? So that's it. You basically get your map. There's roads that go along each side of the canal. This is the Cape Cod side that you can drive your car on, and you park using the map. Park as close as you can get where you think that number is on either side, wherever hole you want to go, and then just cut down into the access road and go to the numbered pole and fish the hole. And that's basically the logic behind it for any newcomer or visitor, or even guys that don't really know how to navigate the canal, get to the spots. The map, it's so important, and it's a versatile thing. And these are just the named holes. There's thousands of holes if you do your own research, and like my motto is, you got to put the time in. As you put time in, you're going to get great spots, and so you get a notebook, and every spot you write down the number. Over the years, you'll compile a book that's probably worth $50,000 of all the good holes. I don't know, you wouldn't put a price on it, and most fishermen are tight vested with it. They're not going to give up nothing, that way, because it took them their whole lives to learn it. But here, a lot of the work is already done. These named holes, every one of these holes fish, as well as the whole canal. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's fish in the whole canal. These are just holes that are named over the years, that have gained a reputation, and they produce fish, all right? And so that's it for using the map. You use the map in conjunction with the information I'm going to give you for each spot. That's how you do it. Now, let's see what that guy's doing back at the canal. So while you guys are fooling around out there, I got a couple taps on this rod. It went over twice. Been about 45 minutes, but the hook didn't catch, but it was definitely striper. But now that you're done ogling Miss Denise, welcome back. I hope you appreciate the importance of following along with the spots that I'm going to show you with the map, especially someone that's not familiar with the area. It's much easier to comprehend what I'm trying to show you with the map in conjunction with the actual spot that I'm going to show you. So we'll save that for later. Right now, let's see if we can get some fish. Sun's coming up over the mountain, getting a little warmer now. They claim high 80s today, but it's a nice breeze out of the southwest. Comfortable, and we're fishing. Boat traffic's picking up a little too. So there's a bunch of topwater nests right here. They're pushing bait. It's coming along my way here, so that'll be interesting. Should put a topwater plug on, but my baits are on the bottom, and basically I'm lazy. Right in here, in this area, in this area. Tide seems to be slowing too. It's getting another hour or so probably slack. The cormorant right here working on his bait. A lot of wildlife. They're amazing. He'll dive down, and you'll think he'll only go out 25 there. They will go literally like 100 yards, and they're flying underwater. And they're catching bait as they fly along underwater. Think of that. They can fly in the air and they fly underwater too. And literally, if you look at some like Smith's National Geographic, shows on them, they just literally fly underwater. And imagine they have the ability to do that. That's pretty cool. So now that you've seen the importance of maps, I'll show you in real life. So along the canal, every 150 feet are poles, and on those poles they have numbers, and they're numbered, and so the numbers start on the east end in Cape Cod Bay. They start at 10 or 5 or whatever, and then they go up towards Buzzards Bay, and each 150 yards there's a new number on the pole, and the Coast Guard uses this for navigational purposes. In other words, if a boat runs aground somewhere, they just can look on the pole and say, I'm at pole number 375, and the Coast Guard and the police can zero right in exactly where there is. That's the real purpose of those poles, for navigational purposes. Also, every inch of this is under video too, like I showed you in the Cape Cod Canal Visitor Center video. It's all monitored too, so they can control the traffic and everything. But we as fishermen use those poles to mark spots. Now, used in conjunction with the map that I told you is so important, and understanding when I give you a hole, it's going to have a corresponding pole number, and you can much easily have a visual representation with the map and the number, and then I'm going to show you I'm going to show you the hole. So that's how to use it. You use the map with the hole numbers, and the name of the hole is usually on the map. Now there's thousands of holes in here, and good fishing spots, and you stumble upon them, you put the time in, and you can notice certain features, but I'm going to show you just the named ones, which are named and made famous for a purpose. There's structure very appealing either to fish or to fishermen at each hole, and I'll give you the corresponding number. And as time goes by and you put the time in, you get a little notebook and you write down the certain holes that you've had success with and you find on your own, or you can use the named holes. And this is the strategy to fish the canal. And it's 7 miles long, and there's fish all through here. And you can randomly come down here and just throw your line in anywhere. and you'll probably really have a good chance of getting fish because this is a funnel. But the holes are there specifically. The named ones are so popular because the features there attract fish, whether or it's appealing to fishermen. There's a jetty or a peninsula of mussel bed that you can walk out on at low tide and it'll give you way longer casting distance, or features like that. So each hole is particular to itself. It has its own specific features that are very appealing, and therefore they became legendary and named. So like I say, there's thousands of holes here, but I'm concentrating on showing you the ones that are on the maps, the major holes. So hope you can appreciate this. If you're coming down here, just use that info to catch fish, catch stripers. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make it easy for you. I know you know that. And why am I trying to? Because the reason is that when I was a neophyte starting, I was looking for the exact same questions that you are. You want to come down here? It's a legendary world-class spot, and guys are catching giant fish here, you know, better than anywhere else. So I wanted to do that too, and I get the appeal, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you guys so that you too can experience the thrill of catching these majestic fish. Okay, fish on. All right, let's see. Get this thing up here. All right. Oh yeah. There we go. Let me do this without killing myself. Here we go. We rolling. So that was kind of weird. First the hit, it went down and then he didn't take it, but then he picked it up and then it went over. But as I unhooked him, he kind of rolled down and got away. It looked about, it was probably about a 26 or 27. But yeah. First one of the morning. Away we go. As you can see, the tide is slacking now, slowing down. Almost looks like a pond when it does it. And it's, you know, I shouldn't even say this. I said it before, but I've swam across this like 3 times, and hope the feds ain't listening. It's a huge violation. But when it's slack like this, it's just, if you can't swim 500 feet, it's not really a feat, but it was to make money. I did them on bets. So, and when they saw how easy it was, they regretted. But none of them, every one of them paid up. You never heard me say that. I'll just deny it. I don't care. Well, the slack has turned and the tide is just starting to head west now. Boat traffic's starting to pick up. When the tide is slack, all the boats come out. The weaker powered boats, and they blow through the canal because they can't make it, especially on these moon tides. I'm not sure, but they may be directed to do so by the Coast Guard. But my bait's getting low, so like that Allman Brothers song, Crossroads, pick up my gear and gypsy, roll on, roll on. And I will see you at the weekly new spot. All right, spot number 1. So see the poles along the edges here, and this is called the access road on the canal, and that is a pole number 285. All right, so every 5 poles, the next pole will be 286, 287, 288, 289, 290. All right, every 5th pole is marked. All right, and that's how you mark precisely the spots. So our first spot this week, 285 to around between 285 and 290. This area is called Sandbank, And if you look on the map, it's called Sandbank, or we call it Backhoes, or something. You know, it's Sandbank is what it is. That's the official hole's name. And the reason why it's called that, and I picked this as the first one, it's great for beginners. If you're going to be bait fishing, it's all sand here. It goes down a pretty good ways too. And it's a beautiful view of, that's the Sagamore, and that's the railroad bridge down there. And I'm on the Cape Cod side. So at pole 285 to about 287 or 290, around that area, you'll feel it with your weights. It's all sand here, and hardly ever any snags. It's good at any tide. And there you go. This is the first one. Looking on the map, there's these access roads, there's no vehicles allowed. You can see the electric bikes or bicycles and all that. So if you got a bunch of gear, this is my Canal Cadillac. There's all kinds of contraptions, Cabela's and Bass Pro. They have wagons, and if you take everything like with the kitchen sink with you, like I do, and a lot of guys do, because you want to be prepared, or if you just have a rod, just carry it in your hand. But if you want to tote a lot of stuff, a picnic lunch and refreshment with you and all that, get some type of cart. Now that's the Sagamore Bridge, and a few episodes ago I showed you the Sagamore Recreation Area, and that's how you can access this road to here. You can park down there, and it's like a 5-minute walk to pole 285. So Sandbank. And that will be it for this edition. Tune in next week, and thank you for tuning in this week, by the way. And next week we will be back here after the striped bass, and hope you can come along. Please like and subscribe, and try to follow along with me, and you'll be able to access anywhere along the canal with these holes. And every episode or two I'll try to include a new hole. See you next week, guys. Thanks for watching.